Okay, I'd like to kick this off with a little segment I'm going to call Factitious Fiction. A few free-floating ideas around the internet that haven't been quite confirmed just yet, but fun to talk about nonetheless. The Harry Potter movie trilogy. A lot of talk has been floating around about adapting Harry Potter and the Cursed Child into a movie. But Warner Brothers quickly stomped on the souls of millions of children worldwide by saying Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is a stage play, with no real plans for there to be a film. But this wouldn't be the first time a major studio has said one thing and then did another. It wasn't too long ago that Sony proclaimed that they wouldn't work with Marvel and Disney. Instead, they insisted that they would continue with their Amazing Spider-Man franchise. Yeah, that's why Andrew Garfield was nowhere to be seen in Civil War. With Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them nearing release, Warner Brothers might have just forgot about old Potter for the time being, but I'm sure when it rakes in the dough, they will be more than willing to put the trilogy back on the table. But if they do, come on, we can get a better picture than that. Come on. There you go. All right. But if they do, they're going to have to find a way to replace Daniel Radcliffe. Despite the project being a little more than a fart in the wind, Radcliffe has already proclaimed his lack of interest. With the trilogy still in limbo, there is little to no word from the other cast and crew about returning. Guess we'll have to sit on this one for now, but we can always dream, can't we? A potential Game of Thrones spin-off. With the end of Game of Thrones looming in the not-too-distant future, all of us are on the edge of riot. But don't start looting just yet. George R. R. Martin has teased several times at the possibility of a spin-off of the popular HBO series, giving us all renewed hope in humanity. Back in April, George stated there are 8 million stories in Westeros, and even more in Essos and the lands beyond. A whole world full of stories waiting to be told if indeed HBO is interested. The most natural follow-up would be an adaptation of my Dunk and Egg stories. And even more recently, at the Emmys, George stated, I do have thousands of pages of fake history of everything that led up to Game of Thrones, so there's a wealth of material there, and I'm still writing more. At the moment, we still have the show to finish, and I still have 2 books to finish, so that's all just speculation. While nothing official has come out, I can't help but drool at the notion of a Game of Thrones spinoff. I feel like I've just gotten started in the land of Westeros. I binged through season 3 and I've been a regular watcher since, and I'm not quite ready to let go. Despite my longing for more, I respect showrunners D.B. Weiss and David Benioff for keeping the show pure and not wanting to cram it with filler. I mean, we already have The Walking Dead for that. Director for Man of Steel 2. With DC still recovering from Batman vs. Superman, this one is up in the air, and no release date has been confirmed for Man of Steel 2 as of yet. But there are 2 untitled DC films slated for October 5th, 2018 and November 1st, 2019. Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie and a Harley Quinn solo film are also possibilities for those dates, as DC might be trying to figure out where to go with Man of Steel from here, but I'll tell you where they should go. Back in August, DC Cinematic Reddit page posted a leak from 4chan that claims J.J. Abrams is in the running to direct Man of Steel 2. And why not? The man's taken Star Trek and Star Wars and done a fantastic job. Why would we want anybody else? He's like the anti-Michael Bay. He reboots franchises and actually makes them, how do you say it? I don't know, good? And Michael Bay, well, you know. Oh God. No, no. Uh, Out of here. Sorry. Huh. But for real, I do feel he could be just the man to steer DC out of the constant downward spiral they found themselves in since Man of Steel's release back in 2013. Holy crap. It's like I work for y'all already. Look at me, hating on DC like a big time screed junkie. Just kidding. Hold off on the angry tweets, see? Come on. That's exactly why I picked this shirt. I'm right there with you guys, though. Just because I like what DC has done in the past doesn't mean I'll give them a free pass now. I know they can do better, and I'm praying that they do. Here's one that I've really been looking forward to. Star Wars fan theories. If you're not in the know, there have been quite a lot of crazy fan theories that have been coming around since the release of Star Wars Episode 7 and even before. And they're all quite interesting, and some of them are pretty credible, some are pretty crazy, but fun to talk about again nonetheless. So let's get into it. First one is Snoke is Mace Windu. But you say, wait, Mace Windu is dead. That may not actually be the case. Samuel Jackson himself actually makes one of the best arguments that Jedis can fall incredibly high distances and not die. Also note, Mace Windu is a purple saber user, which represents a Jedi's connection to both the light and dark side of the Force. Blue plus red equals purple. And yes, I know that Samuel asked George Lucas for a purple lightsaber because it's his favorite color. But now in the canon, lightsaber crystals start out clear and gain their color based on the traits of the Jedi or Sith building the saber. There isn't anything in canon saying that George did Samuel a solid and hooked him up with a sweet ass purple saber. That may have been the reason originally, but with this change in canon, there has to be an in-movie reason to explain his purple saber, which is he is a Jedi with a dark connection and a light connection. Taking that into account, along with the betrayal of Anakin, it may have been enough for Mace to say, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." And I also have links for all of the theory videos in the description so you can decide for yourself. And now, judgment time. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5 for credibility. It's fun, but probably not true. This one seems more like fan service than fact. Theory number 2. Snoke is the actual source of the dark side. Let me explain. This one gets a little complicated. So, Snoke lied dormant in the unknown regions of the galaxy, and Palpatine sensed his power, then mistook him for the actual source of the dark side. He then sent forces to the outer regions in search of this power. These forces became loyal to Snoke upon Palpatine's death, and returned with Snoke as the First Order. Snoke has lived to see the rise and fall of the Galactic Empire, making him older than any other character in the movies with the exception of Yoda. Despite his age and power, he's never revealed himself until now. This theory is actually quite intricate, and I highly recommend watching the original video. While he does use quite a bit of EU and Legends material to make his point, they have been cherry-picking things from the EU and making them canon. For instance, it wasn't too long ago that Grand Admiral Thrawn only existed in Legends. Now he's on Rebels. So at this point, with still 2 movies to go, it's anybody's guess what will actually be made canon. So, judgment time. I'll give this one 4 out of 5. It could be true, but again, probably isn't. It's very interesting, while more based in logic. So many threads are being woven from the extended universe. One pluck and the entire thing just falls apart. And the final theory, that Rey is actually Palpatine's granddaughter. It states that Luke first comes across Rey while looking for Force sensitives to train as Jedi, and upon Kylo's betrayal, Rey is left on Jakku by Luke to hide her from Snoke. This one, I really, really like this one. Possibly the best yet, with the exception of... But since Lucas chickened out on that, we'll probably be forever stuck with stupid, bumbling Jar Jar. So, first off, Rey's fighting style. It very closely mimics Palpatine's. And I know everyone thinks she's a Skywalker, but if she were Luke's daughter, how come Leia and Han didn't recognize her? Also, J.J. Abrams has said Rey's parents are not in Episode 7, and Luke, while it's only a very small part at the end, is in Episode 7. And probably the most damning evidence, Rey is on the dark side of the Force Awakens poster. Again, you're going to need to watch the video and get a full rundown to decide for yourself, but this one really, really sounds good, and it would be very interesting, and I would love to see it. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. Screw it, I'm going all in. I think this would really be cool and the easiest of the theories to pull off, and the timeline fits quite nicely with this one. Now, time for some actual movie news. The Yellow Ranger poster fail. As soon as the talk about a Power Rangers movie reboot started, I was cautiously optimistic about the project. We have seen the results of quick franchise reboot cash grabs in the past, and the 2016 release date that was announced before having a cast or director didn't inspire much hope. Much to my surprise, everything coming out since then has been awesome. The suits look pretty cool, the Rangers they casted are okay, Elizabeth Banks as Rita, and Bryan freaking Cranston as Zordon. I started to think that they were untouchable. And then this happened. Lionsgate Films released promotional posters for each Ranger, each with a different caption. Upon seeing the Yellow Ranger's poster, my heart sank into my feet. Driver's ed not required. Hashtag go go, hashtag Yellow Ranger. For anyone not in the know, this is a reboot of the original Power Rangers, and the actress Thuy Trang played Trini Kwan, the Yellow Ranger of that series. In September 2001, Thuy was fatally injured in a car accident near San Francisco. She died due to internal injury before she could be rushed to the hospital. Thuy was 27 years old. I'm hoping this is just a miscalculation on the promotion front and they meet it head on. Despite it being a mistake, a dedication in the film for Trang could go a long way to mend fences. I decided I would go ahead and do a little tribute myself to Thuy Trang, her friends, her family. I just wanted to say thank you to you all and to her, of course, for making that show. I was so addicted to that growing up. It was an amazing show. It meant a lot to me as a kid. Uh, it might sound kind of corny or whatever, but it had a lot of core values and showed me a lot of things about the way I think and still hold true to myself this day. Uh, and she was a part of that, and I wanted to thank her and her friends and her family for that sacrifice, especially as I've been growing up learning about the things they had to go through to make that show possible. Um, they were real troopers, and I just wanted to say thank you. And finally, the Spawn movie reboot gets a green light. The age of comic book movies is upon us, and the time to cash in is now. Todd McFarlane seems to think so too. With the memory of the mediocre 1997 film fading into obscurity, McFarlane is ready to give the satanic superhero another shot. McFarlane was asked whether or not Spawn fans can expect a new film sometime in the near future, to which he replied by saying, "The simple answer is yes." And with the colossal success of Deadpool, pun intended, execs are starting to realize they can take off the kids' gloves with these movies and not send everyone running to the hills. The thought of a Spawn reboot is pretty exciting and much needed, as it seems like Hollywood is still escaping the 50s when it comes to casting black or female leads in superhero movies. They had to test the waters for Wonder Woman and Batman vs. Superman before giving her a standalone, but we're getting there. So, with this comic book movie reboot on the horizon, I decided to look into other sequels and reboots that could be in the not too distant future, and to my dismay, I wasn't pleased with what I found. Which brings me to my next segment. Sequels gone wild. Da-na-na-na. Sorry, I couldn't get any good sound bites except for this. Okay, might I direct your attention to the American Pie 5, Die Hard 6, Indiana Jones 5, Saw 8, Taken 4, and Transformers 5. Those are definitely series that you would not have expected another sequel after their last showing. I just don't feel that the Saw series is epic enough to really be on par with the Star Wars series. I feel like I'd rather have more movies in that universe than the Saw universe. Jeremy John says it perfectly in his video about why he won't get Star Wars Battlefront. Don't get me wrong, there's a few on here that will definitely deserve a shot, like Mad Max 5, Kingsman, Sherlock Holmes would be another cool one. Zootopia, yeah, those are all ones that I definitely think deserve another shot, and another sequel would be good. Doesn't really seem to matter whether it's good or bad. If you look at this list, it's just kind of all over the place with quality. Batman vs. Superman, and we've seen those trailers before that thing came out, and everybody just went and seen it again, because like they had to like, oh, this movie, it can't be as bad as I thought the first time. I did not go see Batman vs. Superman. I'm the one freaking guy. Like, nope. I waited till Redbox, and I seen it. And I'll admit, I think actually seeing the reviews and what happened made it actually a little bit better. It wasn't as bad to me, I guess, because I knew everything that was coming. Set that aside. I don't want to get that too stirred up again, but yeah, I don't know. What does everybody think? And that's it. Sorry about the no video here at the end. I had some troubles with the camera. This is my first time trying to edit a video or anything. I actually, before this week, I had no experience editing or making videos. I really hope that you consider me. I promise I won't be a waste of your time. And please don't let my looks fool you. I'm going to be 30 years old in 2 weeks. I'm not just some kid. I'm definitely someone who's looking for an opportunity like this. Definitely perform very well here if I could just be given the opportunity. So I appreciate it. I take this opportunity very seriously and appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you very much.